Welcome back to Easier Said Podcast. Today I'm joined by a familiar voice, Nick Kilionski, former host of this podcast, entrepreneur, business owner, but most importantly, husband and a father. We dive into the challenges of running a business through the pandemic, the impact of government policies in your business, housing market shifts, the growing generational divide around wealth and affordability, especially from the boomer generation to the current generation. Is it enough to just pull yourself up by the bootstraps, go out and work hard, or has the economic climate made that harder and harder to do so? We also get personal, talking about parenting under pressure, the value of doing hard things, admitting our mistakes, especially to our kids, and what it really means to lead with love, humility, and purpose, both at home and in business. This one's honest. It's vulnerable. It's full of perspective. I know you're going to enjoy it, so let's get into it. But first, have you ever been watching an episode of the podcast and wondered, what's in the mug? Well, we're really proud to be partnering with the amazing folks at Azahar Roast House, located right here in Lowville, New York. Azahar Roast House is a family and community-focused coffee roaster bringing you green coffee exclusively from Colombia. And get this, they always have freshly roasted coffee ready to ship directly to your door. You can order now using the link below and in the description. Be sure to check out their subscription page and have amazing coffee automatically shipped to you every month. Again, that's Azahar Roast House, where coffee meets community and growth, which is what this podcast is all about. To learn more, select the link in the description and order today. Nick, what's up, dude?
I see things have gotten a lot better since I left.
I am
Sponsored and everything.
I am pleased to have Nick back in studio.
Yep.
Welcome, familiar face for everybody. What's new, man?
Nothing much. I am not used to podcasting. This is like, I feel like it's day one. This is so strange.
Right back to it.
Yeah, just busy.
Yeah. How's work? How's the new business doing?
Good. Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's busy. Yeah, we're full time. I feel like, I just reflecting on like having to come away from the podcast a bit, which we talked about. I think it was, I can confirm that I think it was the right choice. Like where we're at today, it's like, it's so crazy. And I feel like I'm barely keeping up just with what we have left going on. And
right.
Which is a really good thing. Like we're busy and I'm super happy and I don't know. Yeah.
Prioritizing what matters. Yeah. We did a little bit of a break. I don't know if you knew that. We did like a month off, kind of. Yeah, it was a busy season, so it's kind of just. I appreciate that about you and stepping away. Is that's exactly what we preach here, kind of. You know,
family first.
Yeah, know what your priorities are and line your life up accordingly. Yeah.
I'm a little sick right now. Not really, but like I don't like. My body is successfully fighting it off. I don't feel super sick, but I sound sick. So I'm sorry. I sound a little nasally.
Even notice.
I sound a little nasally. I apologize.
Let me go grab a mask real quick.
No, I need to wear a mask.
You need to. Oh, I forget how
I could transmit it to you.
Oh.
If I'm not one. If you don't know if you have it, you need to wear a mask because you don't know if you have it, and it's What was the phrase?
The next frame, it frames to me. I'm in a full hazmat suit, like Dwight Schrute over here.
What was the saying? It was, oh man, it's been too long.
Which saying? Is it crazy to think that was all like 5 years ago already? Like the height of the craziness?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's measurable at which height?
Yeah.
There was a lot of heights. There was a lot of peaks.
Yeah, it was like 2 years of peak crazy. 2020 to 2022. Tailed off in 2020, beginning of 2022. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like what's weird to me, the weirdest part is that like while we were going through it, there was a group of people myself included, that thought things were a little bit like, there were some people that realized like how crazy it was, some of the stuff that was going on. Other people, not so much. They like bought into it and agreed, and maybe they were right. We'll never know. I don't know. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe I was wrong. I'm not saying anybody was right or wrong, but like looking back, I've only like doubled down on like, wow, we went psycho for a while.
Oh yeah.
Like I thought at the time things were crazy, but like I had no idea at the time that 2 years from now, we'd look back and be like, holy moly, it was worse than we thought. Like it just feels like, it's just weird that like a glitch in humanity happened. Like that's what it feels like to me. Is
in
like,
our lifetime.
Yeah. Like,
right.
Like we went kind of crazy collectively for a minute.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
And maybe some of that rightfully so, at least initially.
Yeah.
You know, like when you don't know what it is, like, okay, I understand there's some grace there, but.
Yeah. I remember, we were at the trailer still. I want to itch my eye, but my hands are black and I don't want to look stupid on camera. I remember when we still lived at the trailer, it was 2020. And like, I remember sitting down with Brielle and saying, I said to her, like, we're going to try to not go anywhere for a little while because there's this thing that we don't know about. Like, literally, I said that. Like, there's this thing that we're not sure what it is. So, like, we're just going to try to not go anywhere for a little bit. And, like, I look back on me saying that, and even it feels a little weird that, like, how quickly I said, like, I bought in for so fast. Like, really fast. And it feels kind of foolish to me. Like, kind of like, well, you'll believe anything you hear a little bit is kind of how it makes me feel. But like, I mean, I did it. I did it for a hot minute at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then like you look around after like a month and you're like, wait a second. I kind of see where this is headed. But
it didn't take long to make that switch. No, but I would actually argue, like you feel a little bit foolish about it. I would argue that that's actually wise. Something that you don't know, right?
Yeah, I think we probably went out the next day. So hold the praise.
Total hypocrite.
It didn't last long. I'm a man of no conviction.
The truth is that you have to put your faith you have to take something at face value sometimes when you actually don't have any answers yet.
Yeah.
And then once you start to get the answers, then you can kind of combat that against what you were originally told and so on. And then I got wild for the next like 3 years.
Yeah. Then toilet paper. Then the great toilet paper rush of March 2020.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that stopped, like for me, did you get out of like work? Did you stop work?
No.
Okay, so you kept working.
Yep.
So that's a little bit different because some people would be just like stuck inside watching TV all day.
Yeah.
And so that would be different. But I worked too. I worked straight through.
Yep.
It was weird though to go like in the middle of the day when the lockdowns are going on and be like nobody in the cities.
Yeah. Where you lived in Connecticut at the time? Yeah. Probably a lot different than around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
We didn't go and do anything. That was the only thing. Like once you were done with work, like you just stayed in.
Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, we didn't stop work. Like we were one of the essential businesses, fast food, basically, which is, I was glad I'd be able to keep working and make money.
Yeah.
But,
right.
Yeah. I think I remember it was just I don't know that it was worth it. Like I'm thankful that we were able to keep working and have an income. Like a lot of people didn't have that, but like what we had to conform to keep that privilege is what the government would have called it at the time of staying open.
Baseline freedom.
Yeah, but which quickly became a privilege according to them. Like was kind of crazy. Like just getting yelled at by people.
Can you speak to like being in that industry, being in like the food industry and having to deal with the health department and having to deal with customers and
we were really
a weird time.
Yeah, I think I will be honest and say that like I always have said like your mom and I like really we always agreed that we had really good customers. Like we still aren't a business. I don't know why. Like I don't know if it's the Lord's blessing or if we just do things a little differently, which not saying makes us any more successful than anyone else, but I do think that maybe we've tried to behave a certain way that garners the Lord's blessing, and his blessing has come in the form of we don't have bad customers.
Oh yeah.
Like we've rarely dealt with like complaints or ornery people or issues in the store, which I hear about other businesses and like any business anybody can walk into and just like cause a scene, cause trouble, get mad over a refund that didn't happen or a product that failed, or especially restaurants. Like people, I don't know. People know like you go to a sit down restaurant and like, you know, Karens can come in at any time. And like they're hard to deal with. Yeah. That's mostly what I mean is like difficult customers. Like we didn't ever have that. We could count on one hand, which we could still from memory recite like the few instances we had that were like, well, that was kind of weird. And that was as bad as it got.
Okay.
So I will preface this by saying really like we don't have bad customers. Like it's been a breeze that side of our business, if I'm being honest. Super lucky, which is really nice. Like we're never putting out fires on that end. It's weird.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It's been. So like, but during that time, it was like, got yelled at a couple times. People would walk in and be mad if you weren't wearing a mask, and then they would walk out and be like, trying to support a local. That happened to me one time. Guy walked in. It was early on. I wasn't wearing a mask, and he turned around and walked out yelling behind him like, I'm trying to support a local business and not wearing a mask. And that kind of confrontation makes me only a little bit uncomfortable. So that felt weird.
Right.
I don't know, like pretty isolated incidents, but like getting hotline to public health for some random violation, like maybe an employee wasn't wearing a mask or, which those were like suggestions, kind of like public health would be more like how enforceable is it versus the health department, which is enforceable. That's like a state like law, like a restaurant needs to be up to code or whatever. Just randomly being like, well, now you need to go out and buy stuff to make your restaurant code compliant, which was weird to me. Like, oh, I got to spend money on, like I as a business now have to go out and spend what little cash we have. Have you ever run a restaurant? It's hard. Like you don't have a lot of money to like go out and just, oh, you need to go out and buy stickers to put on your floor that say 6 feet apart, or like blue masking tape is what we ended up using. Or like you need to go and like, you need to buy masks and have a special cleaners in place. Like go buy all this stuff or else because we just added them to the health department list of things that the restaurant needs to pass inspection. And if you don't, we got dinged like for 6 of those things that are year. So we went a year didn't realize it was mandatory. So like all 2020, we didn't have spacing on the ground that said stay 6 feet apart in line. We didn't have like whatever signs were on. We didn't have like a special second hand sanitizer over here. Like all of the random or plexiglass, which were never mandated, but like all those random things that everybody had that we didn't realize were mandated. Like when we had our yearly inspection, they came and like we got dinged for like 6 of them.
Okay.
So like we had to quickly go out and and I think they might have been red violations at the time, which is worse. It's like you need to fix it or you don't pass.
Oh wow.
And they come back and check to make sure you fixed it versus blue violations, which are just like, hey, fix this next time. You're all good. Like just fix it. I don't have to come back. I know you're going to fix it. These were like, I'm going to come back and make sure you did it violations.
Or put a lock on your door.
Like as bad as like fly found in food kind of violation, which is ridiculous. Like, or chicken sitting out on the counter kind of violation. Right. Like actual dangers to people from negligence in restaurants. Like they put these at that level. Anyway, but yeah, like the minor confrontation, what was most hard was not necessarily the outside pressure. Those just made me angry. But like was like, what was actually harder than that was trying as an organization to like come together on what we felt was an acceptable path forward at each intersection of government intervention. That was hard. Like I didn't want to wear a mask. I had a really hard time, just agreeing to like submit to that and like wear a mask, which I eventually did because, I wasn't ultimately in charge at the time. So like I had to learn to come under that authority, and that was fine. Ended up being fine. To be honest, like that was which I can see. I now as an owner understand the wisdom behind the other side. It's like, well, you have employees to pay for and stuff like, what would you do? Like you want to stay open. You don't want to get in trouble, but that was more of a challenge, was like agreeing organizationally on how to move forward. That was like, but that's just because we were lucky as a business. Like we didn't have people coming in all the time being terrors. We'd get the occasional Facebook message like, you're not doing enough, and old people in this community are going to die because of you, and you need to have plexiglass things over your counter, which was not true. That would happen every once in a while for like 2 years. But
no kidding.
I think we had it pretty easy compared to like how other businesses probably had it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, I don't know. I just feel like we didn't have it that bad. We were just blessed, and our customers were pretty kind to us.
Because every different kind of business had different kinds of struggles, and if you weren't essential, then you were applying for the PPP loans and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, weird time.
Anyway.
Have you ever seen Last of Us?
Oh, the like TV show?
Yeah.
No, I've not actually ever seen an episode,
Okay.
but I am familiar
You understand
with
the premise.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember at one point
They should have worn masks, I hear.
well, it's funny because like they have like readers for the virus, right? And like you can, I don't know if you get a blood sample or whatever, but in the show. Yep. And now I'm like kind of pondering back at it and being like going into work with a N95 mask and then another mask over that, and then somebody standing at the door and reading your temperature. It was just so like apocalyptic to think back on, you know, what the measures that we took. And it was very interesting in my field where like you're a first responder, and at first it was like, okay, you're sick, 14 days, quick quarantine. And then once everybody was sick, it was kind of like, well, just kidding. It's 10 days now. And it's 7 days. It's like, how's your sniffle? Just come out, you know?
Yeah. Moving the goalpost. Because, when it was
well, you only have, I'm sure from a leadership perspective, like there has to be a cost benefit analysis there, because streets with nobody on them working is also very unsafe. And so, I'm glad that I wasn't in a leadership position throughout that period where you were or my superiors were. So it's very easy to Monday morning quarterback. But at the time though, if you were getting good independent media, I feel like going through that whole process, I had a pretty good feel of what was actually happening and what ended up bearing out to be pretty true. Which the problem with that, and you know, kind of the distrust in the medical field is, and I've talked to a few doctors, and the biggest concern is the next time something comes around and people don't trust the information that's coming around, and perhaps it's more serious, then it's going to be a real problem.
Right. Little boy, or the boy who cried wolf kind of situation. Yeah. I don't know. We'll never know. It's something that gets filed away in the confidential files right next to JFK and Nixon. And,
the archives.
Yeah, like what the government's, if there was a motive behind that, and like, let's see what the people are willing to do, or maybe it was more like, hey, we need to do something to shake up the economy because of things that nobody knows but us. So like, here's our solution. Like I don't know.
There could be a million different reasons.
Or maybe there was just a virus that freaked certain people at the top out, and they were the ones that had the power to do what they did. And
and you were here still for the legacy episode with my grandma.
Yeah,
it was one of your last ones.
Okay,
I think. Yeah, of course.
I remember Grandpa.
Okay, maybe not.
Okay, I don't think I was.
Okay, so I'd have to go back and look at that. But like she was kind of saying, like how much stock or how much effort and energy do you put into everything? Yeah, and there's a lot of wisdom there.
Yeah.
You can't be outraged by everything and spending all your time focusing on things that you probably will never uncover or know the real truth about. Yeah. So how much do you care?
Depends on who you ask.
What's your take?
I've heard people say the opposite. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if it's the people pleaser in me, or if it's just, or if it's the truth and justice in me that doesn't want to say the wrong thing on camera. But I feel like there's just people on both ends of the spectrum. There are people that would take that opinion and say, no, that's baloney. Like, the only way you can affect change is if everyone has the same attitude of like, let's figure it out. And like, how do you think major change in this country, like women's suffrage and like, well, how'd that all, everyone cared. And I don't know. I can see both sides. Like,
there was actually a point raised in the debate that we just had. And Ezra Segrist made a really good point. He said a lot of times, if you look throughout history, in American history, like the things that led up to major change ended in action. Mm-hmm. So like there's you don't seek out the monsters unless you look in the closet.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I'll tell you what I do think. Trying not to be in the middle aside, what I do think is that I wonder if we're like living in a time where like our government isn't the same as it was 100 years ago, where there is less room to affect change because corruption is just rooted too deep. Like 100 years ago would have been the 20s. I don't know. Like if we were more, like how much, if any, corruption has like basically halted any of the people's ability to affect change anymore. Like those days are long gone where we actually could compel the government to do anything.
Yeah, I think that
doesn't sound like
my biggest contention with all of that is that with AI technology and the information wars that are always going on, you don't know what the truth actually is.
Yeah.
And I guess concerning with AI and stuff, once it gets developed enough to where you can't tell if it's a deep fake or not, or a cheap fake, whatever, like, oh man, that is a pinnacle where do you come back from that?
Yeah.
Like, can you come back from that?
I don't think so. Doesn't feel like it.
So you can disconnect, and kind of.
That's like the only solution.
Focus on your immediate circle and in your local, your local outreach. But eventually, like, it's affected.
Right. It seeps in. I mean, it did. Like, Lewis County is pretty insulated, but like COVID found its way in. And now it's like all bets are off. I mean, the housing market, like, it's awful here too. Like, I don't think even where we live is like safe anymore. Like,
yeah, you can't isolate yourself.
Yeah, like I feel like now it's just whatever happens out there happens here now. Like, it's just the floodgates have been opened, and we feel every recession, we feel every market shift, we feel I don't know. I've been seeing housing prices around like Jefferson and Lewis County lately, and just been like floored at how expensive things are. Like, specifically, I remember a 1,300 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, like ranch house, by Fort Drum with less than an acre of land, 1,300 square feet, was, no garage, $210,000.
Okay.
And that just like blows my mind.
1,300 square feet. Yeah.
Yep. Like, blows my mind. Like, this modular basically. And it just, like, I don't know. Like, you can't find a decent place to live. Like, this gets to like what's his name? Luigi Mangino. What's his name?
The assassin for this healthcare CEO. Yeah.
Like, this kind of like creeps into that discussion that you guys had at the debate, or on the debate. Like,
did you listen to it?
Not all of it.
Yeah.
And that's my next lawn mowing podcast.
Well, it was just released today.
Yeah. So. Okay. I gotta finish. It's gonna be my Saturday, podcast. I think that there's like an understanding. There's a certain level of like, because humans have a psychology and brains, and like not everything is black and white. Like, I think that there is some room for understanding, like, that kind of thing happening, where like it's easy to let sympathy creep in. And I don't know. I don't think that it was two wrongs don't make a right is that situation, but like, I am not surprised when you go on social media and people are commenting support or jokes about, it usually comes in the form of like trolling, jokes that people make about this situation, but like, it used to be like hilarious that millennials couldn't afford a home. If they just stopped buying avocado toast and coffee, like, you could buy a home. And like, we listened to people like Dave Ramsey say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you can do it. The American dream is still alive. And we listened to the other half of people, the Gen Zers, saying, no, you don't understand. It's not about the avocado toast and the coffee. Salaries and growth and housing price growth are like completely out of whack. And it doesn't matter if we don't buy. We could save every penny we earn and we still wouldn't be able to afford a house.
Right.
And like, we laughed at those people. Like, we laughed at the kids that were saying, the classic like kid yelling at the parent, but the parents got more experience and wisdom, so they must be right. Like, we laughed at the kids for saying they couldn't afford a house, and that it wasn't about the avocado toast. Oh yeah, sure. Says the person eating avocado toast, typing on their phone. Well, they were right. Like,
right.
They were right. Like, housing is unaffordable. Like, now I think it's going to get to a point where, like, if as parents, we're not starting the process of buying our kids homes, our kids might grow up never being able to afford a home. Like, now, in order it's like, it feels to me like going forward, it's going to get to a point where in order for you as an individual to buy a home or to own a home or to live in a home, because who knows what home ownership is going to look like if your parents own the house, or like, because that's what I'm getting at is like, in order to live in a home and not just rent your entire life the way that we traditionally see renting versus ownership now, in order to do that the next 1 or 2 or 3 generations, your parents or your generations before you will have had to start that process, and that homeownership, acquiring of homes and the ownership will change in the sense that I will have to like buy my kid a home if I want them to live in a home. And then like somehow they'll acquire it. Like the process is going to change because in one generation, it is now completely impossible to afford a home in the first 5 to 10 years of your adult life. Whereas like I have friends like in our generation, people who had nothing got married and were able to move into their first home because they bought it for 80 grand and they had somewhat of a job and like housing was affordable in this way. But like nowadays you can have both couples can have a full-time job that pays a median salary and like can't afford a house because it's $350,000 and the bank won't give them a loan. Right. But like they both work full-time. They should be able to afford a home. I don't know. I just think that like it's getting so bad that like home ownership is going to look a lot different in the next couple generations. Like if I want Levi to afford a home, I'm going to have to think of creative ways to ensure that my family going forward can like live in a home. Like it may not look like Levi grows up, gets a job, works it for 2 years, gets married or whatever, buys a house. It's going to be more like parents have to start thinking about how to acquire residences so that they can then work in their family to like, then kids can acquire these residences because it's a generational, owning something is going to be a generational problem. Like that's because it's so unaffordable. Like the kids were right. No disrespect, but Dave Ramsey was wrong. Like it's not about the avocado toast. Like,
yeah, especially with the gasoline of the pandemic. Yeah. Like housing prices went insane during that whole 3-year period, really, and has I think maybe slowed. You know, the curve is not as high trajectory as the first couple of years. If you didn't own a home before COVID, you aren't owning a home. It'll extend you 10, 15 years before you're at the same purchasing power as where you were before that. Yeah. And if you're even if you have a good job and you're in a good stable position, like I know people that were at the exact same position I was, graduating the academy, who right now, you know, the 2 years leading up, 2018, 2019, leading up to the pandemic, were looking for homes. No shot anymore. Yeah. No shot. Yeah. Good jobs.
Yep. Yeah. I heard a great quote the other day, or not a quote, but like the anecdote. It's like inflation is great for the wealthy. It's terrible for the working class. Like, I think we're headed in a direction where like, if you don't get wealth now, like you're going to miss out the rest of your life.
Which is kind of another point that was brought up on the debate too, was the consolidation of wealth disproportionately moving upward. Yeah. And it's not good. That's not a good thing for, society as a whole. And how do you dig yourself out of that? I mean, without government intervention. And then that's its whole other bag of balls that you don't really know, what you're gonna be throwing out of there. So,
Dave Ramsey was right about one thing: the housing prices wouldn't come down.
Yeah, I remember him saying that because somebody had called in and asked him like, "Hey, when are these?
Should I wait it out?
What should I wait it out?" And he says, "Who's gonna say it's gonna come down?" I remember that clip. Yep, and he was right about that. Yeah. The whole pull your boots up by the straps. How does it? Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Bootstraps, yep. The whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps thing it does have some value, but it kind of loses the extenuating circumstances around people. Yeah. And puts people into a box of seeing them through your own personal experience. And I think that as the boomer generation gets older, our generation understands that a little bit differently. So I'm interested to see how that cascades to the next generation. Yeah. And when you're talking before about like the wages increase not matching expenditures and not matching cost of living and stuff like that, I think that there might have still been an argument there for you can still make it until 2020. And now it's like, I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you and I are old enough now to like I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, but we're old enough now to have seen a few like market cycles, and like market cycles are different, can be different depending on the industry. Like I think that they've kind of become one since COVID. Like all prices have gone up and haven't really gone down. They've fluctuated, but like have trended upwards. But like, I feel like before, like the housing market didn't really match the used car market. Whereas since COVID, everything just goes up together. But like in general, we're old enough now, you and I, to have at 31 and 34, whatever, 34, have seen a few like, oh, I remember when cars were cheap. I remember when cars were expensive, and now cars are cheap again. Like we've seen a few of those. If you like 20-year-old kids haven't lived long enough to see like what a recession looks like and what an economic boom looks like. So like to a degree, they don't understand hardship. We talked about this?
Yeah.
Like you don't really know what in my opinion, like you don't actually know what economic hardship is until you've lived through a time when milk was $5 a gallon or gas was $5 a gallon. Like you and I have now, like we've lived long enough to have seen a couple cycles.
Yeah.
Like there was like, for example, pre-COVID, like we bought a bigger vehicle. Our family was getting bigger. We bought a Volkswagen, and it was like, I think I bought it for like $6,900, like a really nice like diesel Volkswagen. Granted, they were cheaper at the time because of like the whole diesel scandal, but nowadays you couldn't find the same vehicle for less than 10 or 12. Like, I don't know. After like in 2022, we had to upgrade our van, like to a van, because we got pregnant again. We need a van now. And I sold that same vehicle 2 years later for $9,000. Like that's never happened. Yeah. Like that. It was like, It was when cars like were ridiculously expensive after COVID.
Yeah. And used cars specifically.
Used cars. Yeah. And like you couldn't find a truck at a dealership because
yeah, I remember that.
They were just bought out, and like a truck was like $80,000, and you couldn't get the microchip from China, so they stopped making them. So there was nothing like, so like low supply, high demand. A truck nowadays that's $60,000-$70,000 was like 80 or 90 during COVID. Like everything was crazy. That's kind of what I mean is like, oh, I have seen like the ups and the downs. I get it now. I feel like that's just out the window. Now it's just like, yeah, like a recession looks like a somewhat dip in prices, but like everything's just going to be trending up from now to eternity. Like it's very discouraging.
Right.
But I can see both sides. Like it's hard for like the boomers to look at the Gen Zers and take them seriously when they haven't actually known what economic hardship looks like. Like you haven't tried to raise 3 kids during a recession when milk was $5 a gallon. Like it's hard to take that group of kids seriously. But then like, it's hard for the kids to take the boomers seriously when they're like, stop eating your avocado toast, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And meanwhile, they're looking at Zillow, and a house that their parents bought for $50,000 is $300,000. Like, I just think that everyone's talking past each other. And I think probably going back to like, how do we affect change? Like that could be part of the problem. If the government was capable of change, like going back to the whole, like, well, it's so corrupt, I don't think change happens. But if it was capable of change, like we are way too divided to do anything about it. So like, we're just stuck here, like between a rock and a hard place.
So what do you say then? What do you say to, if you had the ability to have a room full of children, or not children, but be adults that are now your son's age, but 15 years from now?
A room full. Wait a second.
Okay, let me try again. A
room full of adults that are my son's age.
I don't know how you didn't get exactly what I meant. Okay, let me try again. If you were in a room 15 years from now.
I'm 46, okay?
Okay, good math. And you're talking to your son and his peers.
Yeah.
How do we affect change going forward?
If 15 years from now, everything hasn't gone to heck even more, if somehow like it's not as bad as we think it is happens, and like, or there was some awesome like major course correction and things are okay, or things were never going to be as bad as we are saying now and like it's all right, I would be like, probably the same advice you give them now. Like, just try to work hard and like stay diligent, and like you'll be all right. But if like in 15 years things are going the way people are afraid they're going to go, and like you really can't, no one can afford a house unless their parents already own the house. You can't, everyone's forced to do, public transportation because cars are unaffordable, and like if in 15, 20 years, like our world looks completely different, I have no idea. I would just be like, I'm sorry. Like,
right.
I wish I would have planned better for you.
Right.
It's like, I wish that I would have done better so that you didn't have to. I'm imagining talking to my son.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'm sorry that I didn't do a good enough job to. 20 years ago, parents wanted to have a college fund for their kids. They wanted to have a couple $1,000s saved up to help them buy their first car. And that's it. Like a college fund and a couple $1,000s. Maybe there were parents out there that wanted those things and like also had a little bit of money put away in some savings bonds that they could give their kids when they matured, or had a Roth IRA set up for them, or help them set some money set aside outside of a college fund to help them. Like, but at a minimum, like the dream was to have a college fund and maybe a couple $1,000 for a car. Now it's like the pressure for you and I, for our kids, is like, I can't speak. Maybe this isn't nothing new, but I feel like it was college fund and a car. That's all we got to worry about. Now it's like college fund, or some other. Nowadays, like college is like we have other things we can invest for our kids. But like college fund, if that's what you want your kid to do, or your kid wants to do, $20,000 to help them buy their first car, if that's still a thing that you're trying to help them with.
Right.
Super. And then like, okay, now I also got to start thinking about how I'm going to buy my kid a house.
Right.
Like what we have to prepare for our
right.
children. I'm going to cry a little bit for a second. Like when I pour us, like I'm going to be the kids for a second. What we have to plan for is like so overwhelming to me. Like I need to have a college fund for my kids. I need to have another investment fund, a brokerage fund open for my kid, like a Roth IRA or some kind of other investment thing. I need to have way more for a car saved up. I need to figure out how I'm going to help them buy a house. I need to figure out how I'm going to help them this. Like I need to set my kids up for life, because if I don't, the government and the economy is going to be so bad for them that they're not going to be able to do it if they wanted to. So like what I would say to my kid is like, sorry, I dropped the ball, and like your life looks different than mine, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because when I was your age, we maybe couldn't afford a home, but he could if he got lucky. But 15 years from now, when Levi's 20 or 23, it's like not even possible if that's how it goes. Like there's nothing we can do. We can still do something about it. Like I could go out and I could buy a $50,000 foreclosed home and like fix it up a bit, and like I could live in it. You can still do it. Like you can live in it. It's going to be a dump maybe if you can afford to do a little bit here and there. But like, if 20 years from now, everything is as bad as people are afraid as people are afraid of it being, like, and everything is just massively unaffordable, and like not even that's possible anymore, like I don't know what I'm going to say. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed to talk to my kid. Plain and simple. I would be like, I'm sorry that I didn't have this figured out for you. Like, now I can't help you either, because the train's gone. Like even I can't afford it. Like, yeah, like your mom and I have a good job and we've got enough saved up, but that's not even good enough anymore. Like, I don't know. I think about this a lot, is like the pressure that we have, that I feel like we have to help set our kids up. It's not just a college fund and a car anymore. It feels like to me.
Right.
But that's me, like, cry, poor me. Like you get somebody else in here, and like, I would love to hear a fresh perspective on why I'm wrong. Like if we sat Tyson down and heard his perspective on, it might be just as pessimistic. I don't know. But like, maybe he would be more like, I don't know if it's that doom and gloom. Like somebody else might be able to like tell me it's not that bad. But like when I talk to myself about it, that's like where I go, is like,
right,
man, it would really suck if, I don't know what I would say to him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I feel like, it's just a lot to think. It's a lot to put on your own shoulders too. Like, a lot of unknowns. Yeah. Well, you said we can still correct it. What would that look like, do you think?
Well, I meant more like our generation, we can still do something about it. Like things aren't like that house down the street might be worth $100,000 more than it was 2 years ago. Therefore, I can't afford it. But like, there's still this house over here that like I noticed was for some reason this house is still for sale for something reasonably affordable. It might be a dump, but like there are still some options if you know how to look close. Like I can shop for a car and still happened upon a good deal. Like that may not be a thing 20 years from now. Things might be so unaffordable that like right now that kid eating avocado toast can make the argument that housing is unaffordable. And the boomer can say, well, why don't you go buy that one down the street? That's for sale for $50,000. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like 20 years from now, what if there's nothing like that? What if like the average median income American, housing is inaccessible to them because of some dystopian future we've moved into? Like, I mean, like right now we can still do it if we had to. There are still a percentage of houses out there that are still affordable. There are still a percentage of colleges that are still affordable, cars that are still affordable. If you know where to look, you can still kind of game the system a bit. But I feel like it's getting harder and harder. Like, and if 20 years from now, that's completely snuffed out, and like more the idea that like you live in a future where like the average American like doesn't own a home. What's home ownership? That's for the rich.
Right.
That kind of thing. Like if I'm talking to if my kid's like, wow, you guys used to own homes, like that kind of future.
It's kind of too far gone at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I
maybe that's 2 generations from now. I don't know. 3.
I definitely feel that. I think any parent who's not thinking a little bit ahead, doesn't relate to that.
Really hard.
Yeah. They can relate to that. Right.
I wish it was like for early on before, like when my first kid was born, it was like, oh, okay, like college fund, and like, and me and Brielle would have the conversation like, well, like she would be like I'd be the balloon and she'd be the string, and I'd be like, I want to set my kids up with this fund, and like I want to put $100 a month into everything, and like by the time they're 18, they're going to have X amount of money. It's gonna be great, and I want to give them everything. Yeah. And Brielle would be like, well, do you really want to give them everything, or do you want them to like have a balance of like, we don't want to give them everything, we want them to learn like we did? And now it's like, well, if we don't, they're having nothing.
Right.
It's like gone south so fast, if you ask me.
Yeah, and then maybe that mindset just isn't going to be applicable.
Yeah.
So you have to be kind of watching trends for that, for sure.
I don't know what the strategy is going to be. I don't know what the strategy is going to be to combat the future that everyone's afraid of. Or like, our families going to become their own banks? Like, how is society going to evolve to be able to survive in an economy where only the rich own homes? Interesting. How are we going to like, our family's going to start like banking themselves, and like everyone's going to like, are we going to live together? Are we going to be more community minded? Like, as far as like, it's just like, is it going to be normal for grandparents to buy their kids their first home? Like, I don't know. It's fascinating to me to think like, how are we going to adjust to, I'm sure there are things that happened like 100 years ago that like, or that we do now that 100 years ago, they would think, oh, that's crazy that they do it that way. Like this idea that you save up you put money away for your kid and it grows into a college fund. Like in like 1918, would that have been like crazy for them to hear something like, oh, so that's how like society is going to evolve to like be able to afford a $200,000 college tuition? I'm wondering the same thing. It's mostly like, how are we going to evolve to like afford the future?
Right.
What strategies are humans going to come up with to like make it work? It's going to look so different, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah. It would be super naive to think that that's not a way we should be thinking. Yeah. Because
it's a lot of pressure.
If you would look back 10 years ago and then like forecast the past 10 years up to now, like,
hard to predict.
It comes quick.
It does.
Yeah, life comes at you fast. Yep. So you need to kind of be ready to adapt. Yeah, like communal living, like what would that look like? Yeah. But
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like humans are very resilient and very adaptable, and perhaps it could change for the better in some ways, in some respects, compared to what we're comfortably used to. Yeah. Oh. Maybe actually there could be silver linings in there instead for the dystopian view. Yeah. Who knows? You have to come back on in 20 years. We'll see how this aged. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Like my home insurance has doubled in 3 years. That to me is wild. And every year I ask to shop around, and every year they get back to me and say, "Oh, this is the best that we found." That's it. Like, it's literally doubled. Like we had a $500 payment. Now we have $1,000 payment.
What about full regions that can't even get it?
Right. Yeah. Probably is I don't know what other people's home insurance is. So I'll say that with a grain of salt. Maybe people are hearing this and being like, whoa, I wish mine was that cheap. I've been told, like, I do my due diligence. We have the run of the mill, like, level of home insurance. So like I've been told it's an average insurance that's on par with what's out there. Nothing crazy, not lacking anything. And it's doubled. Like, it's doubled in 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I've been told it's inflation. I'm like, what else? If everything doubles, that's why I'm afraid for like what our kids are gonna be able to afford. If everything that we own or lease, like insurance, doubles, mm-hmm. I can't even wrap my mind around that.
Yeah. And so like in a biblical perspective, like stewardship works to an extent.
Yeah, that word has a whole different meaning to me now than it did 10 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so, but then it has to be, this is not going to sound good. Policy change, government intervention. Is that what we're like looking at? Because not a great track record of trust,
right, with
those two things.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, let's move away from that.
I can't get into that.
What's
I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I don't even know what that.
I think the private market should do it. How? I don't know. Yeah. Government intervention versus like letting the economy do its thing. Are they like one and the same now? It feels like one can't move without the other.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm too stupid to talk about it.
What are you learning these days? You learning anything else? Anything about yourself that's kind of surprising?
Oh man, yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like the last like 5 years of my life have been like a lesson in humility. I would say 6 or 7 years. Like yeah, a lot. It's hard to pinpoint something like on the spot, but I feel like I don't know, like maybe people feel like what you go through like a midlife crisis or like a major shift in your life. I'm not going through a midlife crisis, but I'm saying like I am going through like a period in the last 6 or 7 years where like I just every day I'm confronted with some like need for humility and like taking myself down a few notches. I'm not the best at everything. I'm not the best at anything, and having to like, I wouldn't say cope with it, because I thankfully like I can respond to the humility pretty well, and I don't feel like I do, and I don't want to. It's just I maybe like thought I was, but I'm not, and like that's okay, and like makes me realize like there are people out there that are much smarter than me, much better than me at certain things, and like I think it's probably just experience and living a little longer. Each year you live a little longer than the last, and like it's nothing that I didn't ask for it, didn't want it. I think we all experience it. I'm not special. I'm assuming we all experience like gaining wisdom as we grow. Like turns out like parents were right. The older you get, the more experience you have and the more like understanding you have of things. I feel like I'm kind of like learning what that's like holy cow, I'm learning things and like experiencing things, and therefore it's giving me different views and outlooks, and I have more wisdom than I did 5 years ago. And like, it's like this like culture shock of like emotions. Like, I don't know what to do with it. It's like strange. Yeah. But like humility, just, I am not the best at anything or everything. And like having to like readjust how I do things in my daily life that I would have operated in a different way before, but now I'm like, kind of shakes you up a bit. I work with somebody who's like super smart. And so like, that's really, really good. Like iron sharpens iron. And like, that's been like really good for me to be challenged. And, another thing that's pretty exciting, is that I used to hear people say like, like I want to jump ship to a different job because like this job's just not challenging me, and I want to go to a job that I feel challenged at. And I've always like younger me with no experience and wisdom would always like every time I saw that or heard that idea was like, or I love my job because it challenges. What do you like about your job? Well, it challenges me. I'm like, what? So what you're saying is your job is hard and you like that? I want a gravy job. That's how I would like. I didn't understand what they were saying. I was like, who wants a job that's hard? But like, I get it now. Like I have a job where like I will go to work and I will be like thinking nonstop all day long. And then at the end of the day, I go home and I'm like, I realize how like good a day I had. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, I finally have a job that like I feel stimulated at. And like, this is what people mean. So that's been really fun. I've been learning what that feels like. And it's been like really enjoyable. I don't think I've ever really had a job like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I felt like challenged and like but I weirdly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think that is? What do you think it is about the human experience
that's a good question.
That challenge breeds.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Fulfillment and joy.
Because I'm still digesting it. That's a really good question. And I don't know, because I literally am still like digesting it in the last year and a half of like experiencing that. And now just now realizing that I feel that way, I'm like chewing on it and trying to, but like, yeah.
Are you a glass half full or glass half empty kind of personality?
I think that I tend to be a glass half full.
Okay. Because my question before, you had kind of spoken more in depth about learning that about yourself and the challenge that it is to realize, I guess, how much you didn't know early on. You could take that two ways. You could take it as really exciting, which you ended up saying that it is. It's really exciting to be able to develop and learn and grow that way. Yeah. Or you could take it as it's kind of scary. Yeah. It's kind of scary how much I don't know and how much I have to grow yet. Yeah. So, and I think that the perspective on pessimism, optimism is kind of the take on that. Remember when Tyson was in here and this might have been after you had gone. I'm trying to think of which episode it was when he was on. Yeah, it was his first one. You were here. He said how excited he was to be growing in areas that he is so sorely lacking in, as like something to attain, a goal to go after, and how exciting and great and how much even fun I think he said that would be. Like, not a lot of people are that way. Like, that's pretty counter to many people in our lives, you know? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm the glass is where it is kind of person. Like,
I could. Yeah, okay. Like, I can understand that.
I don't know. Like, that's a really hard question to answer, but I can relate to that a lot. Like, I think that like to feel that way, you have to be put somewhere in your life, or you have to get somewhere in your life where it's worth like feeling that way. Like, if you don't work hard and you don't do anything, you're never going to realize like that you're excited to like be learning anything, because you're just not there. You're not in that brain space. So like, maybe it's just a product of, if you just put yourself out there and try something, then you'll start, like, it opens up a whole new set of experiences. Like, if you never jump in the ocean and try to swim, you'll never know what it's like to like experience that. I don't know.
To get eaten by a shark. Yeah.
Because that's actually a really good analogy, because like sometimes that happens. Sometimes that like does happen. That's like failing. Yeah. You jump in, which I'm extremely afraid of failure. So like that's actually very profound. Jump in the ocean and get eaten by a shark. You're like, no, okay. Man, I'm regressing. Dang it. Haven't thought about that in a while.
Yeah. That kind of goes back to, remember when Kurt Heisey was on, he was talking about courage, and he was talking about, you don't, a good idea doesn't make you anything. Right. A good idea makes you $0.
Yeah. The patent makes you something.
Right. It's the action.
It's the doing it.
It's the action to make something out of it. Yeah. But the flip side of that is that like entrepreneurship and taking risks also can have severe consequences. It's not just all you have to do is take this big risk and it's going to turn out great for you. Just get past that fear of failure and that uneasiness, and it's going to be great. You just have to work hard.
You're going to lose your home and your kids are going to starve and eat ramen.
Because that happens. And the reality of this, it's terrifying. There is a glass is where it is perspective there, right? Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it.
My highs are not super high and my lows aren't super low. I'm at where I'm at, and I don't know. Yeah. Some days I wake up and I'm optimistic, and some days I wake up, I don't know. I don't know that I'm either one way or the other. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I'm excited. I get excited about like working on things, and I say that, and I am so far behind in so many ways that like I fail in communication in my marriage probably daily. Right. I fail with patience with my children probably daily. There's just so many, there's so many avenues where I'm like, oh, well, in 10 years, I'm gonna have that all figured out.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe it's more of a stepping progression versus like a bell or like a, like a, what do they used to call the, not ellipses,
bell curve or standard deviation.
Yeah, that's right. That's nice.
Standard deviation.
So it's more of a stepping graph and not a standard deviation.
Like where you're always trying to exist in this like one perfect spot.
Right.
Versus like every day you grow, but you can like look back at where you failed and like sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and that's just life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same. I'm not perfect, and
but I think
my kids know it. My wife
the
knows
outlook,
it.
like you just said, is right. Like if you can get to a place where your challenges are reachable and rational, and your goals are laid out well, like that's a good perspective to have. Like you can get there.
Yeah,
you can do it. Somebody just said to me, Corwin, I was looking over one of his clips when he was on our podcast, and he talked about obtainable goals. Like if you put something too big in front of you too fast, that can be demoralizing if you don't reach it. And Jordan Peterson talks about that. He says, carry as heavy a load as you can. That's not carry a load that's going to crush you in 5 steps. So yeah, I think all that stuff puts into perspective, like how you can keep your outlook positive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Deep stuff. Deep.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I was saying before.
Anyway, about getting eaten by a shark.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah. Work's been fun. That's new. Like, never realized what I was missing, feeling challenged and stimulated by my job. Like, going home and feeling like, wow, I really like my job because it makes me think. That's like totally new. Maybe that says something about me. Maybe that says that like I always took the easy path until I finally smartened up. I don't know. Maybe I should have had a job. Yeah, like the cafe is. I just don't get that from like. I've never had a job where like I felt like challenged. But like there were challenging things.
Yeah.
Like, there was problems to overcome and challenges to overcome, but like some challenges drained me. Whereas like the challenges that I face now, like I'm like, oh, I love my job.
That's cool.
I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah.
Just interests like, like, oh, you're just interested in this and you're not interested in this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like,
what's the saying? Find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. There are things that I love about, like, the fact that we own the cafe. Like, there are things that I love about it. Don't get me wrong. But like the actual work itself, like it didn't remind me of like what I feel now. Like, I loved my job. Like when I was working full time at the cafe, like I actually did like my job. So I don't want to convey that I didn't. But there's just something about what I'm doing now that like it hit me like a light bulb. Like I just spent all day thinking about something nonstop, and I realized that I'm having fun. Like it was like a light bulb,
right? That
I had never felt before. That's all.
Maybe
not to compare it to something else.
Maybe it's a character progression. Maybe it's just because you're at a different place now than where you were when you were at that job.
Yeah,
maturity wise, intellect wise, maybe,
yeah.
or perhaps because. Like Mike Rowe's whole thing, like just find something that you're good at and bring your enjoyment with it.
Yeah.
Like I think that there's both sides of that spectrum because I do think there are people who get into jobs and they love that.
Yeah.
And maybe only that.
Yeah.
Weird. It's weird to see the progression there. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just being good at everything all the time and like sometimes. Sorry, my mom is trying to video call me.
Mom.
Silence my phone. Sorry, Mom. Can't call you. I'll call you back. And silence. Yeah, like I was making a joke. I was interrupted. What was I saying? Oh yeah, just like I'm good at everything all the time, so like it's hard to feel stimulated. But,
it's hard to feel challenged by anything.
Actually, I wonder if there is something to that. Like, like I never really struggled in school until I did, and then when I overcame that, I felt good. But like not until I overcame something did I feel good. Like I was always really good at school, but like when it came to 10th grade freaking trigonometry, I struggled. Like I ended up, like I failed, I failed the state test or whatever. So I went to summer school.
Regents exam?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So like I got the news that I got a 55. I'll never forget. I got a 55 on my trigonometry test, and I was devastated. Like this had never happened. Like, yeah, it was like, I'd have to go home and tell my parents, like, for the first time in my life, I failed an assignment. Like, it was like life changing. Anyway, I won't get into it. So I'm like, but what I do is like, I realize I still have that thing in me where I'm like, I'm going to go to summer school and I got to get this grade up. Like, I still had I got to buckle down now kind of mentality. So I go to summer school and I learn like trig for 2 months. Like not that long. And then I go and I retake the test and I like got an 80. Like from a 55 to a B that's really good. And I felt like I could conquer the world again. So like, I don't know if it's just like, maybe I need to be, this is like the whole humility thing. It's like, I could use a taking down a few notches here and there. And then I'll remember what it's like that like, okay, you're not that great. Like, I don't know, maybe there's something in there. Like I'm not good at everything, but it's easy to like, yeah, honestly, like sin creeps in and it's like easy to be like a little, I don't know, like when you've had it easy your whole life, maybe I've just had it too easy. And now I enjoy like the other side. Mm-hmm. And maybe it is, maybe you're right. Maybe it was a maturity thing. And like, this is what growing looks like. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's something in all of us, I feel, that you can't get unless you're challenged and overcome something. You don't get that feeling from anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I've had it too easy. Dang. Spoiled rotten.
Spoiled rotten.
Anyway.
It's probably that you're very intelligent. So like a lot of things that you would be doing for your schooling years, you were just good at. You excelled at. Yeah. But even deeper than that, like it's got to be a good feeling to, to run a company successfully and be profitable. That's a good feeling.
Yeah,
but it's deeper than that.
To tell, but yeah, like hold the horses, hold the phone,
the cart before the horse.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I have to keep in check though. Like that is exactly what I have to keep in check. Like you don't get any stars for this is like what Kurt was saying. Like you don't get any. It's not about the idea. It's having the courage to do it. Like you don't get any stars for owning a company. Like you get stars for like doing well. Like. Nobody cares if you own a failing company. Like just because you own something doesn't mean like there's any value to it. Like something needs to have value. So yeah, I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird place. As soon as you're comfortable and you're complacent and you don't feel any, like push for adventure or change, then I feel like you become very distractible and very susceptible to laziness. Yep. Because it's an easy place to be. Yeah. What else? Parenting, marriage, anything?
Oh man.
You learn anything there?
Yeah. Passing the trauma on to my kids all day, every day. Levi's 8. Rocky's going to be 6. Isla's going to be 4. Maybe is going to be 2 next February. Yeah, having an 8-year-old is weird. Like, it's always going to be weird. I'm going to say having a 9-year-old is weird. Having a 10-year-old is weird. It's probably just how it goes. But, like, my kid is so big, my firstborn.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, speaking of humility, like, being humbled. I just, like, wish I was a better father. Yeah. I don't know. I'm never like it's that bell curve thing. Like I'm never gonna feel like I'm in that perfect sweet spot, which we agree it's not what it's about. But man, it's hard. So this is a practical, real life example of how it's easy to say like you need to see your life as like steps that you're always you're looking forward as opposed to trying to be in this sweet spot. But like easier said than done. And like parenting will like make you see that. Like it is easier said than done. Feeling like you're not a failure every day. Like, oh, I wasn't in the sweet spot today. Yeah, I just, and it's also hard to not let like the demon set in. And like what I mean by that is like, I know where I've fallen short with my kids, my oldest especially, because they're like the experiment. they take your worst like you've never been a parent before, is how I feel.
Yeah.
So like I know what I've put him through. And so now it's hard not to see things that he experiences as like, oh, it's because I fell short in this one area for so long, when like maybe that's not even what it is. But like you see the ghosts. You know what I mean? You've got to know what I mean, right?
Oh,
like 100%. I'm sure
100%.
every parent does.
Yeah.
Like, like, oh, I know, like I feel bad that he just like, this thing just happened to him and he responded this way or whatever. That's because I did this for so long, but like, maybe not. Right. But like your head is like, you are almost traumatized by how you rate. It's a terrible place to be. Like you can make up stuff sometimes. And like, that's really hard. And I don't know if I'm making it up. That's the worst part, is like, maybe I'm right, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not them. They're a different human. You can't be in their brain. You don't know. You don't know when they're experiencing trauma you've given them. It's like this awful unknown. And I just wish it wasn't a part of parenting, but it is. So like, not only do we have to learn how to like be good parents to them, but like, we also have to like be good parents ourselves. Like it's like fighting a battle on two fronts, like in my own head about my shortcomings, and also trying at the same time, like to be a good parent to him and to them. It's super hard. It's like, that's humbling. And often I go to bed thinking I could have done better, and that's hard. I'm just so hard on myself.
Yeah.
I haven't really learned a whole lot since we last talked. I just feel like every day is just a challenge to love them better. And I miss them when I'm gone. And you're the best parent. You want to be the best parent when you're not with them. And then when you're with them, that impatience sets in, and you're never a better parent than when you're not with them. Your aspirations are so high. I go to work every day and I look forward to seeing my kids when I come home. Like I come on the door and thank God all of my kids still go, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," even my 8-year-old. And I want that so bad, and I look forward to it so bad. Like I'm the best parent when I'm not with them. But then when you're around, you get impatient, and it's a challenge to follow through on the dreams that you have when you're not with them.
Sure.
And I just find that so hard. Like, yeah, it's not perfect. And I wish it was easier, but like being a parent isn't easy, and it never will be. And
yeah, well, they say that parenting is hard for good parents.
Yeah.
Right. Is that the saying? And then what was the quote that Kurt Chrisman gave to you? Because this kind of is along the same vein, right? About
your mom said to me one time that that you love them, and that makes up for a lot in a lot of kids. Like a lot of kids are in homes where they don't feel their parents' love. Like it's crazy to fathom, but that is true. Like a lot of not a lot. I don't know, maybe not that many, but like kids, there are kids that they grow up in homes where like they don't. Maybe their parents are distracted with things, like lots of things that people struggle with. But like not every home is like my home, or the home that I grew up in, or the home that you grew up in. And like, that's a hard reality. Like, and so she was saying like, you love your kids, and that like overcomes many deficiencies. Somebody else told me one time, when I was worried about like, sending our kids off to outside influences and whatnot, just a big old conversation. And they said something that really stuck to me. It was Charlotte Sullivan, that your kids spend 90% of their time with you. That other 10% they're away. Like, don't make that the 90%. Like, they're with you 90% of the time. Like, that is the influence that they have. And that's, loving home, positive influence. And like, that can't really be don't worry about it being disrupted by the 10% that they get from the world and stuff. So like, those two things have always stuck with me. What your mom had told me, in that, like, you love your kids, and that is like going to make up for many of the deficiencies. Yeah. Which the way that she said it to me at the time, like, it really made a lot of sense to me and hit home. And I don't know if I'm conveying it as, it sounded like really good advice to me at the time, and it still does, but like, I don't know that I could repeat it the same way. Yeah. I don't know if it has the same impact when I say it, but the fact that you love your kids means more than you realize. Yeah. Yeah. I just recently heard, I think my wife sent me something. A psychologist was talking about children under the ages of 3 or maybe 5. And essentially what he was saying was, the little things that you think matter, the little corrections, the little
programs or the little ways you're trying to learn to parent your kids better don't really matter if love isn't there.
Yeah.
And that love is the most important thing for them, that they feel loved and during that period than anything else. And it's not even close. So all of these deficiencies that we have and all of these proclivities to sin and impatience and all that, if they're being raised in a home that loves them in an atmosphere of security, comfort, and love that they know is there, then doesn't matter as much as we think it does.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to see everything under that lens, right?
Yeah. Speaking of kids, we went fishing this weekend at
Oh, nice.
we went up to camp with some friends, with Jake and Charlotte, and they have a camp up in the Adirondacks, and there's a big like reservoir, and Levi was fishing a lot of the day. He was out there with a gigantic pole and this artificial lure, and he's like sending out every 5 seconds, reeling it in.
Yeah.
And he did not quit. Like, he loves fishing, and he caught like this 10 or 12 inch bass, and is the biggest fish he's ever caught. And it was after a couple hours of nothing, like no luck, like moving around from spot to spot, and like just, but like he is not super characteristic of probably any 8-year-old to just like persist and not just give up when, like, this isn't what I thought, it's not fun, throw the fishing pole aside. No, like, he was okay with not catching fish for like 2 hours. He got, fruitless fishing. But he kept doing it, and he would take a break and then he'd go back to it. And eventually I'm like over here swimming in this thing, and I see him, I hear like commotion. He's reeling in a fish. And so like, I like dropped this tube that I had, and I like sprinted over, because I was not going to miss this moment. I sprinted over to him, and he's got this fish on the line, and it's moving around in the water. And it was like a big old smallmouth bass. And I was like so proud of him. Like, he just fished for 3 hours with nothing going, and to see like his work like paid off was good, but like, he very well could have like ended the day with having nothing, like caught nothing, and it wouldn't have made a difference to him. And that was really cool. Like, but the fact that he got to catch one was it was really, I was like a super proud moment. Yeah.
And the fact that you dropped what you were doing to go over there, you don't think he's going to remember that forever?
Of course. So. Yeah. I think it's like those very, very, very few and far in between obvious moments, because I think there's probably lots of little moments that are not obvious, whether that maybe they experience and they never communicate with you, but like, you have opportunities to like watch your kids overcome, and then like to show up and support. Not all of them are as obvious as like the classic son catches big fish. Mm-hmm. Like, and I actually had this thought. I've been thinking about this a little bit lately, like, to not just show up in the big moments, because then it's like, I worry that it's like, oh, like, dad loves me when I catch a big fish.
Right.
But like, to show up in the little moments so that they know dad loves me all the time. Yeah. So I thought like, what I feel inside is like this obvious proud moment where he accomplished something, in that he's just like fireworks inside, and it's this obvious opportunity to like, you want to pick him up and hug him and be like, that's such a great job, that's a huge fish, dude, like, nice. And then to have this, like, this is where parenting is hard. It's like, then for that to go in my mind, to go to a place in my mind where I'm like, well, what if I only show up for him in those moments, and he thinks I only love him if he catches a big fish? It makes you realize like, oh, I need to be like this loving and this excited for him in the little things too, so that he knows no matter what, like, mom and dad are there for him. Mm-hmm. So like, you can't have a good moment without having a sober moment, which is like, that's parenting. Part
of parenting.
But yeah. I was like thinking about that afterwards. Like, man, I need to be really careful about not just showing up for the big moments, but to like, let the little things be a big deal too, so that they know, and like, your kids are secure that it's not like, your love is not accomplishment based. Mm-hmm. It's what's the word? It's not circumstantial. What's that phrase? It's your love is the idea that it's not based on achievement. Yeah, it's like super important. So then I felt like couldn't just let this moment be like really cool. I had to have this like deep sobering thought that I didn't ask to come into my brain, but it did. So
right. Yeah.
So he gets home. We get home from the trip last night and he's got a loose tooth and he goes right into the bathroom all on his own. And if anybody knows Levi, he's not like he's courageous, but he's not like not a daredevil. He's like me, how I've always been, right in the middle. Like I'm not going to go off that bike ramp. What if I face plant in the asphalt and get hurt?
Yeah.
I'll go around the bike ramp. I'm not like, he's kind of like me, a little more like he'll think it through. And if like the outcome isn't what he pictures, he wants it to be, he like won't do it.
Yeah.
But like every once in a while, he'll like surprise you and he like goes into the bathroom and he's like yanking on his own tooth because he wants it to be out. But he knows it's going to cause him pain. He knows he's not going to like it. But like for some reason, this time he did it anyway. And I'm like, I had the same thought. My reaction is to be like, great job. Like, you're so tough. And I like got to hold back and realize, okay, you gotta be really careful with that. Because like, if you go too far with that, now he's like, oh, dad, like, look how excited dad is when I did something.
Yeah.
That was like outside of what I ordinarily do. So he loves me when I do something that's not normal for me. And like, I just can't have a single celebratory moment without it being like, whoa, hang on, think it through first.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Just another example of like, love your kids all the time so that they don't feel like, you know, your love is conditional. Unconditional love, even in the little things.
Unconditional love, even in the little things. I feel like that's going to be a big takeaway. Yeah. It's funny because when we started this podcast, what year? 2024, right? Spring 24, and I was pretty new parent at the time. I mean, I had a 2-year-old and another one and a baby. What were we thinking? I had a 2-year-old and a newborn.
Yeah. Wait till the kids move out before you start a podcast. Yes. Maybe not.
Yes. And the amount of wisdom from people from all different spectrums and all different stages of, particularly we're talking about parenting, but it's been in all different kinds of categories, has been so profound and such a blessing and an absolute, it's been, what's a good word? Privilege. Such a privilege. Yeah. I feel very privileged to have sat across from people who give advice like little battles, and, you know, the war of parenting. You know, you feel like you lose a lot of those battles, and there's a lot of casualties along the way, not understanding that you're winning the war.
Yeah.
Investing time with your kids when it's inconvenient. Yeah. Stuff like this.
That's a tough one.
I'm constantly thinking about all of these things. And what you just said, loving unconditionally in the little moments. Like, come on.
I'm proud of you all the time, not just when you yank your tooth out and look like a tough guy.
Yeah.
Get excited about the little things too.
And like to encourage you too, like in the moment of 2 hours of fishing, what that would look like is didn't catch anything, went over. I'm proud of you for fishing and for 2 hours.
Right.
Right. Or, you know, and man, I just feel another one is, you know, when you're too close to something, you don't get a good view of it. And when you're too far removed, you don't get a good view of it. And it seems like your kind of internal struggle, and mine too. I feel everything that you said tonight is like, I relate 100%. You know, how am I messing up my kids? How can I make it better? Yeah. And really starting to get an idea for the whole picture and saying, you know what? The stuff that really matters is showing up, loving, providing stability, and being humble through your mistakes. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's profound stuff. Yeah.
We were sighting in some guns the other day, and I had dropped a magazine from one of the guns out in the field and was sure that I hadn't done that. Like, I was positive I hadn't left that thing out in the field. But me and Levi went out to the field, and we looked around, and there it was on the ground. Like, I was sure that it didn't happen. Like, I replayed in my head, like, I opened the case, there was nothing there, nothing could have happened. Well, there it was in the grass on the ground. And it was like this perfect opportunity for me to tell Levi, hey, you know how I'm always like really upset with you when like your excuse is I forget? Oh, I forgot. Hey, why didn't you clean your room when I just told you to go upstairs and do your bedtime routine? Oh, I forgot, or whatever. That's a terrible example. Like things that you don't think your kids should forget, but they do. And I'm like, I'm hearing my dad in my head, like forgetting isn't an excuse, which I'm sure he would probably apologize for now. Cause you know, I get it. Like now I see as a parent what it's like to say to your kid, forgetting's not an excuse. And I know like, okay, it is. Like, first of all, for kids, it is. Right. But like in my head, I'm like doing the same thing my dad did that I'm sure he regrets. But like, I get this wonderful opportunity to say to Levi as we're walking back through the field, hey bud, you know how like I'm always like getting really upset with you when you like say I forgot and that's not an excuse and stuff, and like basically makes you feel like you have to be perfect, right? And he was like, yeah, like he was serious, like yeah, it does. And I was like, well, turns out I was wrong. Like that's exactly how I said it. Turns out I was wrong. Like look what I just did. I was so certain that I did not make this mistake. And I did. And I had I said I had no control over it. I did not try to drop this magazine. I was certain that I hadn't, but looks like I wasn't paying attention, which I'm always yelling at you for not paying attention. And I forgot that it even happened. Like had no idea. So like, I'm sorry that that's something that I do that makes you feel like you have to be perfect. Cause look at me, an adult, I'm not perfect. Like that's another thing is stop not apologizing to your kids. Like when you get an opportunity like that, like your kids, apologize to your kids and show them what humility looks like. But also it restores, like, I felt like in that moment, what I had done is I had restored like a building block to our relationship. And like, that's worth any like feeling, that's worth putting aside any feeling of like, well, he's going to see that as weakness. Like whatever excuse men make up to not apologize to their kids, like it's worth it. Like what if it were true, it's worth it. It's not true. Like kids need to know what it looks like for an adult who's not perfect to mess up. And like, whenever you can apologize to your kids, like you should take the opportunity if it's needed. And like, that was like great. So I'm learning how to apologize to my kids anyway, just like more stuff that it's like coming to me as I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like take it easy on them. They're not that smart yet. Like they just don't know they don't know what they don't know. And like, it's our job to teach them and to yell at them and expect perfection and expect them to never forget and to not make mistakes. Like they are smart enough to realize, to like draw conclusions, and the conclusions they're drawing when you do that to them is, oh, I'm supposed to be perfect. And like, you know how a kid feels when they're not perfect? When a kid starts to get the message from you that they're supposed to be perfect, oh, forgetting's not an excuse. Well, I didn't mean it. Okay, I'm supposed to be perfect. Well, like no one's perfect. So like, how does a kid feel when they fall short of the perfection that you taught them that they need to be? They feel terrible. Like there goes their self-esteem. Like, and you will see it. Like you will watch your kid's spirit be crushed. And like, there are ways to restore that. It's through trying not to do that as much as possible when you can realize it, stop doing it. And B, when you do it, like apologize to them. It's a huge deal. And like, I felt like in that moment I had, restored so much in our relationship, from that feeling of like, dad says I need to be perfect is all he hears when I yell at him for things like that. Dad says I'm supposed to be perfect. Right. Well, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah. That does so much for your kids. Like, it's super important. Wow. And like, you want your kids to grow up to be humble adults. So show them what it looks like. Yeah. Just another benefit.
Model the behavior for them, especially if they don't know, like you just mentioned. Yeah.
They don't. They don't know anything. They don't know anything.
Oh, they don't.
No. Like,
turns out.
They let you just take them home from the hospital. Like, they literally, they just let you take them.
I know.
They like tug on the car seat. Yeah, that's good. And then like you drive home with
if they even do that.
Yeah. And then you drive home with this thing like, oh, they let us leave. What now? Like, they're like blank slates.
And it's easily the most important job you'll ever have.
Yeah.
Your marriage and parenting your kids. Like, why don't we look at life that way?
Yeah.
Prioritize life that way. Because Corwin said it, I don't know which time, because every time he comes on, he's got these nuggets for us. But he said, like, you're affecting souls in future generations. What's more important?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing else. Yeah. Take it seriously. It's important. You need to do it. Yeah. And it should be a big burden, not burden. It should be you should feel the responsibility. Yeah. Like you should feel the weight of it and try to learn and apply that. Yeah.
It stinks, but it's a good sign if you do feel it.
Exactly. If you don't, then that brings other problems.
Yeah. It might be a little too numb.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, we're closing up here on time, but this is a blast.
That was fun.
Yeah, really, really good. Next time you come on, which there will be plenty of next times, I want to get into your marriage a little bit, dive into what you're learning in that area and whatever else. Yeah. So, I had no agenda. I just wanted to come, get you back on here and get a familiar face for everybody.
Yeah.
And talk about just what's going on in life. I really think that some of these conversations are honestly my heart for the podcast is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. If I wasn't the guest, I wouldn't have come across like I knew so much. I really don't.
I don't think it came across that way.
Good. I suck.
Don't we all? Yeah. Well, before you go, I've got something special for you.
What?
Yes, sir. This is from Azahar.
Dang, dude.
Yes, sir. Roast House. That's some Colombian coffee. That's great product placement right there. I
gotta open it now.
Oh, you don't have to, but there's some goodness in there. And thank you so much.
Classic roast by Azahar Roast House, medium, full city, drip or pour over recommended.
Yeah, thanks, so dude. Check it out. Check it out. But really, so that's from them to you. So thank you for coming. But from me, really appreciate taking some time, coming hanging out with me.
Crinkling that right in front of the mic.
Do that as much as you can.
Sorry. It was I just realized for the past 5 minutes it's been...
You were media trained at one point, I promise. But no, for real.
Thanks for having me.
It's like life is busy, and the truth is, since you haven't been on the podcast, we haven't had a lot of time to be able to kind of sit and talk. So really valuable for me too. So
thanks for reaching out. Yeah, I was happy to do it. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I'll come back on again. It was a blast.
Yeah, you better. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it then.
Thanks.
Take us away. Peace.
Bye.